Welcome, my dear notebook loving friend. Grab your favorite notebooks or your planners or your art supplies and come hang out with me for a little bit because we're going to talk about some brand new notebooks that I have never set up in this way before. And I'm excited for them. I'm feeling so ready for the summer months, and all the transitions and changes that are going on have been sort of throwing me for an emotional loop, but also pulling me towards my own personal transformation, which I am both excited and terrified for, as all change kind of leads to this, I would say. And I just really have been needing to compartmentalize the way that I'm learning and making a priority out of learning some new things, taking care of my own health, organizing different projects in a way that I can brainstorm, and my notebooks have been the greatest support for that. And I am so excited to share how I've set some things up, some new ones that I've purchased, and even my latest Erin Condren haul, which is going to play into my health planner that I set up earlier this year. It's all good things. So let's just spend a very stress free 30 to 45 minutes together and let's talk notebooks. Okay, how have you been? I hope you have been doing well. April Rough Draft Challenge has completely kicked my butt, and all of my plans and intentions for writing 70,000 words or so this month went out the window because I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I've had two autoimmune disorder diagnoses this month and have really had to take a step back from several things. You might have seen me less posting on social media over the last couple of months as I've been trying to work on my health. And so I'm kind of drawing a line in the sand for myself of saying, okay, I'm going to prioritize my health. I'm going to get my ideas organized because I have been a little bit all over the place and struggling with my motivation and energy for a little while. So yeah, these notebooks have been supporting me in that. One of the first ones that we're going to go over, this is new. I'm not actually going to share the inside of this other than blurred out, just because these are definitely personal thoughts. But we had talked about on the channel, maybe the last notebook challenge, or maybe the one before that, about potentially going through the artist's way together. This is a program that's like a 12 or 13-week program by Julia Cameron. This book originally, I think, came out maybe in the 80s. It has been around for a while. This is one of the special editions. And it's really a course about creativity and getting your spark back. I really, really want to do this. This was super helpful for me in college when I was a vocal performance major. And that was the first time I was introduced to this. I would love to do it again. Many of you expressed interest in going through it together as a group. I had wanted to get that together for Q2 and just didn't have the bandwidth for it. But maybe we'll go through it this summer and we'll just lightly go through it together with maybe a series of videos here on YouTube or maybe a Discord or some posts in the community tab. Let me know if you would be interested in that. I want to actually go through the full system and just kind of talk about what I'm doing with it, but it would have to be very light touch and casual because I know I can't take on something really big at this time, but I just need that spark and creativity, and this really worked for me in the past, so I want to do it again. The only thing that I have started back to so far from that system, which is probably the thing most people talk about when they talk about the artist way, which is morning pages. In the book, she suggests that you do 3 letter size pages, like full size pages, back to back. I cannot do that much. It takes me too long. So, what I have the bandwidth for is this A5 size, and I'm doing 2 pages. So, if I open it to this page, you can see I've been just doing every day, I do 1 full spread. So, 2 pages per day. I decided to, even though I do have a lot of other notebooks that are unused, I decided to purchase these new ones. These are A5 craft style notebooks. And the reason behind it is because if I want to do basically fill one of these out every month to month and a half, depending on, like, there's just enough pages in here for you to do about a month per one, except it might be a little over a month if I'm only doing 2 pages. If I wanna really commit to it, it just feels more satisfying to have multiple of the same exact size that I can stack up together and just bring me that aesthetic joy of having them be beautiful. And I wanted something smaller than like a big 8.5 by 11 size sheet so that I could feel more accomplished and I could fill it out faster. And it just feels like I'm getting somewhere with it, just that positive motivation and momentum of finishing notebooks. So I found these on Amazon. This is pastel, but they also have other colorways. This is 16, so you get two of each color in this sort of rainbow order color set. And it's $24 for all 16 notebooks. So I picked these up on Amazon and I love the craft notebooks too because I get these Pipsticks Hello Kitty subscription and it's every month. There's just like 10 or 15 pages of stickers, and I don't always have a way to use them. And so I thought, oh, this will be perfect. I can pull out all of my old Hello Kitty Pipstick stickers and just decorate the covers. I could use washi tape, I could paint it, but it really works nicely with the craft paper. I am about halfway through this notebook, even though I did start it April 1st. I only made it through April 1st through 11th. And then I needed a few days off to prep for the trip to Florida. And then I forgot to take the notebook with me to Florida. So then I picked back up once I got home from Florida. So I'm through the month of April. I probably did 15 days. So I'm about halfway through the notebook. So I will continue this. I did put a little April 2026 at the bottom and I numbered it number 1. So I think I will just go down instead of using the pink for the next month, I'll probably use the orange and I'll just go one at a time and then I'll cycle back through. So I'll use this one for the month of May slash June and we'll kind of see how it goes. I might end up writing, like ideally I wanted it to be April, May, June, and so on. So I'd have one per month and that this whole set would get me through a year. But I think I would have to now write a little bit extra. So I'm just going to see how the month of May goes and continue. But the idea is first thing in the morning before you check your phone or do anything else, you sit down and you just do a brain dump. Whatever has been on your mind, whatever has been worrying you, any dreams you had, like there's no rules and it doesn't have to be literary and it doesn't have to be something you would ever want anyone else to read. It can be just getting things off your chest or expressing something that you were thinking about or noodling through an idea about your plot. Like it can be literally anything you want it to be, but the idea is to not overthink it, to just brain dump so that you have a clean slate for the rest of the day and you can really enter your work and everything else without those things sort of weighing on you. When I have done morning pages in the past, I have sometimes let it get to be too much of a complaining pages. So I don't want it to be too like positive all the time, but mostly I have been trying to like fill this with a lot of gratitude and creative ideas rather than complaints about things that I've been worried about. And that is helpful for me because when I tried to do this several years ago, it was just here's everything on my mind that's worrying me. And I think the purpose is to get it out of yourself so you're not like ruminating it. But it actually made things worse for my depression at the time. And so I am being more aware of that. And the intention here is to actually spark my creativity, not complain. So those are my morning pages. Let me know for sure in the comments. I know many of you said you would be interested in the artist way. So if you have any opinions, let me know. Do you think we should do a video series and just do a video check-in once a month? Or I'm sorry, it would be 13 weeks. So we do a video check-in once a week. We could do a check-in on YouTube Shorts. We could do a check-in on the post tab on Discord. We could do an email loop. Let me know if you have an idea of how you would like to do this or if you've seen other people do it. It just would have to be light load for me just because I have a lot going on this summer and I want to enjoy my last summer with my oldest child before he goes to high school. It's still kind of blowing my mind, but it's going to be big family transitions. Another notebook that I saw at Walmart. So Evie was like, let's go to Walmart and get some new color pencils because she wanted to color this Pokemon coloring book that she had gotten from her babysitter. And I saw this in the notebook aisle and I was like, Lord knows I do not need another notebook. However, I couldn't pass this up. This was like $7. It has the cutest gold foiled little cross sign here. And then it's just ruled paper like a composition notebook, but it's bigger than a traditional composition notebook. I love the ruled line because it makes it where you can do little bit of notes or outlining on the side with the main page. This would also make a great morning pages notebook. I did do a little bit of a pen test and like You can see that some things ghost through, but not too much. You would think for such an inexpensive notebook, the paper would be really cheap, but it actually feels really nice and sturdy. And it has this cloth binding over on the side. It's not exactly a lay flat binding, but I feel like you could sort of break it a little bit, and then it lays flat pretty nicely. And these pages are perforated. I think this is a really great notebook. I don't know how I'm going to use it, but this is one of those notebooks that the temptation for me is so strong to just go back and buy like 10 of them, even though I have a notebook closet full of notebooks I haven't used. Why do I have this obsession and compulsion? I don't know. Part of it comes from back in the day, there were these Studio O lay flat binding. Studio O still makes them, but they make them in A5 size. And they used to have letter size ones. And it was my favorite journal. And I loved it. And I was obsessed with it. And I bought maybe two, and then when I went back to buy more, they weren't making them anymore. And it broke my heart because I was like, okay, from this day forward, anytime I fall in love with a notebook, I will buy tons of them so that I can actually have them to use forever. But then what happens there is that you don't always use them all because, you change preferences or you decide that another new shiny notebook comes along. So anyway, I don't always recommend just going out and spending a lot of money on notebooks you haven't used yet. However, if you are in the shopping, like if you're in the market for a new notebook, these Pen and Gear luxury, I think they called them Luxe notebooks, eco-friendly materials, washable craft. This is also that craft cover. But listen, this gold foiling, the really nice design paper, and it doesn't have the typical blue lines. It's like a grayish line. They have another design of this too that is maybe like an off-white, but it's maybe a chevron pattern. I didn't like that one as much, but the green is just really beautiful. So highly recommend if you are looking for one because these were very inexpensive, definitely less than $10 at Walmart. And I think Pen and Gear is Walmart's own brand, so you wouldn't be able to find these anywhere else. But they sell them on the website and they had them in store. So highly recommend that. Okay, now we go to the three notebooks that I have set up while I have been in my planner nest, just sort of needing some self care time. One of my favorite things, as you well know, if you have been around for a while, is to set up pockets. I love to set up pockets. So I like, as much as I do enjoy and like notebooks like this, I love notebook covers that you can change and slide out in and out new notebooks. And this beautiful one is, I think it was called Mystic Berry, is one of the Hobonichi A6 covers from their designs for 2026, and it has this beautiful navy blue on the outside and this gorgeous pop of like berry purple. Like this is so beautiful on the inside. One of my subscribers, shout out to Mel G, went to Japan and asked me, can I get you anything? And I was like, oh my gosh, if you find this cover, I would love, love, love to have it. And she actually sent it to me with this box of amazing stuff that had these little candies that you can make yourself and washi tapes and just so many goodies. And it really just made me so happy to go through it and so grateful for this amazing community. Oh my gosh, my heart is so full. So I love this. I had this cover on cover. So this design with the flowers is not part of the cover. It's a plastic cover that goes on top of the Hobonichi to like protect it. And I had this one from several years ago, and I just felt like it really beautifully matched these colors with the yellow and the little pop of the berry on these little flowers here. I think it looked really nice. And then I put a little Broken Chapter Society sticker in there. Setting up the pockets. How cute are these little pockets? I just love them. And I don't typically buy any new stickers or ephemera. I just reuse them from previous planners. And I have this Ziploc bag full of little paper clips and stickers and printables and doodads. This cute little sticker right here. How cute is this? Hopefully it'll focus with the little bookish stuff and the coffee. This is my latest sticker that I took with me to recent book signing, and it is so stinking cute. I love it. It's purple foiled. I got this done at Sticker App, I think. So cute. I will link that shop below in case you guys want to, like, you bring your own design and then they can print it. So if you're looking for stuff for signings, that was a good place to get them. I was trying to think if I had another sticker here that I made, but I don't think I do. Somebody also, I recently went and picked up my mail from my mailbox, and somebody had sent me this hater spray one, and I just love it. So, you guys, anybody that sends me stuff, even if I don't always open things on camera, just know that I got it and I love it. And I'm so grateful every day for all of you. It just makes me so happy. The notebook that is in here is not a Hobonichi. This is a A6 Stalogy 365 notebook. Again, this is somewhere around $15 or so on Amazon. I will try to link as many things as I can below for you. This notebook has been repurposed twice. That's why I have this little paper clip that is putting these pages together, because I started this little blue notebook, didn't use it, started it again, didn't use it. So now I have the first, these pages aren't numbered, but probably the first 5 pages are just nicely stapled together or whatever. They're clipped together. We'll just pretend those don't exist. First of all, if you're not using a notebook that you think is beautiful because you're afraid that you're going to mess it up, I mess this up and it is not the end of the world. I can just washi tape or clip these pages together and then I can just use these however I want afterward. You can always give notebooks multiple lives. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I have just a few little washi tapes and one of those Hello Kitty pip sticks that I just have clipped in, but I do want to actually create a washi dashboard in this one. I think that would be nice, but I don't know, maybe I'll just paint something over here or glue in like a vision board. But this notebook, like I said, I haven't written in it yet. I just mostly spent my time cleaning it up or setting it up, is going to be ideas for my Broken Chapter Society. So the Broken Chapter Society is my YouTube membership over on my reader channel, Sarra Cannon. I would love to have you over there if you want to come join us. We do lots of fun stuff over there, like reading my rough drafts as I'm writing them. We're doing a full moon live stream event tomorrow afternoon, just lots of fun things. And I love that group of people. And we haven't even like started on the stuff that I want to do, but I just have had so much on my plate trying to do it all by myself that now that I have an operations manager who is just owning it and a VA team, they're trying to take so much off my plate and we're getting projects done that have been on my plate for a very long time. Like everybody here who has taken one of my courses, we've always been on Teachable and I've had some issues with Teachable. So we're moving over to Kajabi, but to move a course like Publish and Thrive that has over 100 videos over to a new platform has been taking, it's a huge project. I just couldn't do it on my own. Don't worry, nobody's going to lose access to anything. However, that project is going to be so much more seamless and done because of that team. George is actually helping with my team, my husband as well. And it's freeing up my own bandwidth and time and creative energy for projects like this. So I'm so excited for the future of Broken Chapter. But there's a lot of ideas that I have been, when I have them, I sometimes will capture them in a notes app on my phone, but I want a place to really think solely about all the fun things that I want to do, like putting Easter eggs into things and creating an entire world out of the Broken Chapter Society headquarters and like a secret town, like a portal. Most of the books I write are some way portal fantasies. And I want the Broken Chapter Society to feel like when you enter Broken Chapter, you are entering a portal into a new world of stories. And I want there to be exclusive stories, exclusive books, exclusive artwork, all kinds of things. And you can only execute on your ideas if you have the bandwidth and the creative energy to do it. And it has been emotionally difficult to have the ideas but not be able to follow through on them. So this is my like corner of the world where I am beginning to organize those ideas. And so it brings me a lot of joy to have it. And the fact that this cover came from a loyal fan who's part of the Broken Chapter Society, who I just adore in our community, that has been around for a long time, just makes it feel even more special. Just like we're building something real in a world where so many people feel disconnected. We're building something that's based on connection and fun and feeling like you're part of something bigger than yourself. And I'm excited for it, to say the least. So this is my new Broken Chapter Society notebook. This little sticker, I want it to show up like around this little corner. So I need to actually tape it in so it doesn't keep moving around. But anyway, that's another sticker I had done on Sticker App. If you want the link to that, I'll link that down below. Another notebook that I have set up for the month, which again, most of these are going to be used for a very long time. This is another Hobonichi cover. I don't know what it was, but I guess I was like digging through my notebook closet. This Hobonichi cover, I think, was from 2018. It's a Hello Kitty. It was a limited edition. I think it only came out in Japan because that was the only place they had it licensed. So I had to buy this secondhand for, gosh, it was like $100 and something for this cover. And it's not holding up. It's that kind of like PU leather. It's not holding up perfectly, but it's still one of my favorite covers. It's just so cute. And I think they did have an A6 design this size as well that I would love to get my hands on. I need to go see if I can find one that's still around. But okay, I have set it up with this actual setup. This is not the same notebook, but this setup is in terms of the backing paper and this Studio Adorkable. This is me. Lacey did this little chibi of me with my Kanban boards and stuff, and I just love it so much. So I put it on this paper, went into my story notebook where I was keeping track of my story ideas from the things that I was consuming. So it was kind of like a reading journal that I just never kept up with because I would read stuff, but then I didn't actually necessarily always have something to say about it. And it just felt like something that was too many things to keep up with. So I have repurposed the cover and the backing paper and everything else. It's just basically a clear cover that I put some scrapbooking paper on. I got this What Like It's Hard sticker from Fabled Bookshop when I went to Waco with my friend Megan. And then, like I said, this was from Lacey at Studio Adorkable. Her sticker shop is closed now, but she's an author in our community. So shout out to Lacey. And then I also just, again, had my Ziploc bag and all these different things that you've probably seen if you've been around for a while because I've used them over and over in different planners. So I didn't buy anything new here, but I do have a couple that I haven't used before that were sitting in a drawer that were from Planner Kate. This too shall pass, but honestly, WTF. And then this one that says, Does the process know we're trusting it? I think I'm going to make a t shirt that says that because every time I see it, it just makes me laugh so hard because every time I think about writing, I think just trust the process, trust the process. And it's like, but does the process know I'm trusting it? Is it trustworthy? So anyway, it just always makes me laugh. So this is my new setup. Here you can see more of that sort of damage of how it's not holding up. If anybody knows ways that you can either repair this or like, can you paint this or can you put something over it to make it stop like deteriorating? Let me know. The rest of it is in good shape. It's just part of the corners and edges. And I have it in the cover, but it's still just not holding up great. Anyway, this is a Sterling Ink 520 page notebook. It's from Sterling Ink. This is their new Koji paper. I haven't watched enough of Catherine's videos to know if they're done with the Tomo River paper and they're switching everything out, but I think everything that's available on their site right now is this Koji paper, which is slightly different from the Tomo River paper, but it does write similarly. I did a pen test here. You can see that there's quite a bit of ghosting. If that bothers you, it is similar to how it is on Tomo River paper, but you can also see some of it took a little bit of time to dry, so it transferred over. The purple is this Persephone ink that I had in a bold fountain pen, so I knew that was going to take a while to actually dry, but otherwise, I haven't used it, so I can't really tell you exactly what I think of it. But this notebook, I did take some of my favorite washi tapes and created a washi dashboard. This Doing My Bestish, I think, was another Planner Kate one. I created this one in Canva. And then I just have this BookBub sticker that was something that I got from, I think, like Author Nation or something. And Potter Wilson Music Library is the music library that I used to work at Vanderbilt when I was a student. And I grabbed that this last summer when we were traveling around. So just a few little bits and bobs and things like that. Super cute little washi dashboard, very colorful and red, and I love it. Then I think I actually took this next page and yeah, I did. I just glued it together because sometimes that first page of a notebook, it's not fully unattached. So I just glued that down. And I'm going to use these first few pages as an index because these pages are numbered. So the first thing in here is the Brandon Sanderson lectures. So I was telling you, we were talking about doing the artist's way as a group project. Well, a few of us on Coffee Chat for my Friday coffee chat over on my Sarra Cannon channel, we're talking about how we wanted to listen to the Brandon Sanderson 2025 updated writing lectures and talk about them a little bit. So we do have a channel over on my Discord server if you want to come join and talk through some of those lectures. We have a forum set up in Discord for each one of those lectures. So as you go through them, you can discuss your thoughts on it. And then we're going to do some voice calls just to kind of casually chat about it. So you're welcome to come join that. And this is basically the purpose of this. I don't think I even said this is kind of my biggest complaint about this notebook and the cover is the same thing was happening on my other one is like if you have it inside the cover, it's just not closing well. It's probably user error, but anyway, I am going to be starting finally my Zettelkasten, but I'm still trying to figure out my sequence of how I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to be a Zettelkasten purist. However, I did invest in Victoria Crowder's Zettelkasten for fiction writers. Look at this beefy book. Victoria is also part of our community and she has a YouTube channel here. I will link her YouTube and website with this book on it down below. But this is Zettelkasten is basically a German word for slip box. And there is a system for gathering knowledge and having the knowledge that you have gathered from books or gleaned from books or other sources, and basically keeping track of it in a way that allows you to make connections between ideas. That is an oversimplified version of Zettelkasten. And I think I have been talking about starting one on this channel for 2 years. But again, it's the bandwidth issue. Once you're already at max capacity, there's just no way to add more, even if you're joyful about it. So part of what I'm doing in 2026 is clearing my plate of some of those other things that have been weighing me down so that I can really focus on the things that are going to be joyful and fulfilling for me. And when you run 2 businesses and you're a mom and you have a lot of responsibilities, it can take months to make that transition, but I'm committed to it and I'm excited for finally seeing some of that coming to fruition. But anyway, I will be using for my Zettelkasten, I'm going to do it physically, for starters. If I feel like I need to, I can move it digitally. A lot of people use software called Obsidian, which sits on your computer and allows you to make different connections. And I actually was looking at Obsidian for doing a wiki for my story world, or not a wiki, but like a series Bible for my story world, for my next world that I'm going to be building. I've already started the pieces of building my next world, although it might be a couple of years before I actually have a book that comes out in that world. And I thought, where do I want to start it from scratch? So it might be in Obsidian. So I don't know if I'll use all physical, but right now we're going to start at physical. So it'll be index cards. I just have a bunch of colors in here, but they'll mostly be probably white. And I can't even go into how to explain it. However, I will link, like I said, Victoria's channel where she's going to talk about what do you put on the cards? How do you organize it specifically for fiction writing? And so one of the things that I also wanted to do is in Zettelkasten, when people talk about it, they talk about literature notes, which basically is this idea of as you're reading through a book or a piece of literature, you take notes on the things that were said. And so it could be a direct quote or something that came out of it. Then in your Zettelkasten, you don't put, and forgive me, I know some of you know a lot more about this. I'm a total beginner, so I might be spreading misinformation. But the way I understand it is that you don't put direct quotes from like a Brandon Sanderson lecture on your note card. What you do is you might listen to Brandon Sanderson's lecture, and then as you think about it, you could have your own original idea and you put it in your own original words. So you don't word for word put his idea down. You integrate it into your own knowledge, and then you put your idea like kind of bouncing off of what he said onto the card. But what a lot of people will do is they'll have literature notes that are those direct quotes, and then their regular Zettelkasten notes are their own like original thoughts. Like if Victoria's watching this, you're gonna be like, you're doing it wrong. So forgive me, I haven't read your book yet, but we're going to read it before we get everything started. But the way that it makes sense to my brain to start out with, and like I said, this might not be what it looks like long term, but to start out with is I'm just going to take my literature notes in this notebook. So this notebook will specifically be all of my writing craft notes all in one place, because I have been annotating and taking notes on writing craft books for a long time, and they're just spread across so many different sizes and shapes and places of notebooks, some in disc bound stuff that doesn't stay together well long term, some of them in small notebooks, some of them in the backs of journals and various other things. So then if I want to reference it, I basically just have to go back to the book itself. Whereas I would love to create a way of keeping the literature notes together, like the things that I want to remember that are word for word in this book. And then as I'm going through it and new original ideas come to me about the three-act structure or something in fantasy or tropes I like to use or any other thing like that, then I can put them on the note cards and then I begin my Zettelkasten that way. I don't have the full system down. I don't know if I'll be doing it properly, but that's the intention. So this is my craft fiction notebook where I also will probably be taking notes about the Zettelkasten itself as I read it, which is going to take some time. But it looks like she's got some good examples here of what it looks like to actually create your cards and how you keep track of your stories and things like that. And like I said, as I build my world, I might decide that I want to do it digitally instead of on paper, but I am a paper person and I usually prefer paper. So that's where we're going to start and we're going to see how it goes. So craft fiction or craft nonfiction books and notes in there. Another specific sort of niche journal is this one. And this is an A5 or half letter. This is a half letter cloth and paper leather notebook that I used to have set up as my like life admin. So this had all of our budget and household like cleaning and other things like that. And I did use that pretty well for a short period of time. But again, a lot of it ended up being things that I don't really need to track or I could track more easily in Google Calendar. So I dismantled that one a while back and wasn't sure how I would ever use this. The only thing, I don't think she sells these cloth and paper ones anymore, but the biggest disappointment to this particular one is that it did sort of like the board inside of it sort of cracked. So when you open it, it has this line in the center. So I don't know if it's held up perfectly over time, but it's still cute and I do still enjoy it. So again, pockets. This will just be a lesson in how many pockets can Sarah set up in one session. So I set up all these pockets. I think it turned out so good with the black and purple, but this is essentially disc bound notebook that I have set up with. Again, I didn't buy anything new. These were just all old pieces that I had from previous planners. And I'm setting this up to be, so this is craft and like, this is notes about writing fiction. This is going to be notes about personal development and manifestation and all the courses or classes that I'm taking or the books that I read, like The Mountain Is You. If I'm doing journaling, I'm doing it all in here. So just to show you, this discs are from Happy Planner. They're the expander discs. And this cover that says notes is from Cloth and Paper. The Believe paperclip was from Erin Condren, Cloth and Paper. And this, I'm a Magnet for Good Things. Those are all from Cloth and Paper. I printed out from Canva 2026 planner, just the overview of the year on vellum. And then this was my vision board for last year. So I just kept that in here. And then I have some older pictures of my kids. Like this is Andrew maybe in 5th grade or something. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I need to replace them, but also they're so cute. This first little top section, I have them labeled in a way that is no longer relevant, but this is for like one course I'm taking. This is for another class that I'm taking. This is my 2026 vision board. And then I've got another section. So each one is basically from a course or from a book or from something like that. And eventually I might need to archive pages and put new ones in. Some of the dashboards, since there's so many pages in this, I printed out dashboards on just regular paper instead of sticker paper or photo paper. These are from Digital Dashbox, some of them from years ago. I've just been subscribed to that service for so long that I just reuse old ones, but mostly it's just empty little things that are placeholders. Some of them are list pages. These came from Fancy Plans. Some of them are just plain notes pages. I have this cloth and paper sheet that says, as you think, so shall it be. This is a very thick vellum. Some more cloth and paper quad notes. And then I have, again, card stock. I have this mind mapping thing. I thought maybe I could use this mind map sometimes for making some connections between some of the personal growth or some of my vision for the future. This next section, I have this other cloth and paper vellum that says, it is only with gratitude that life becomes rich. little vision board for The Throne of Thorns, which is the book that I'm currently writing. Then there's more just blank pages. And then in the back here, I have these tabs that are basically January through December. And so the way I was thinking of using them is, oh my gosh, look at this too. We have this cute little photo strip of me and George, probably from like 12 years ago. It's so cute. And then another just paper dashboard, but I had these monthly admin sheets from Cloth and Paper, and I thought, "You know what? I'm gonna use these because they were undated." So I dated it for May, and then I put in here, instead of tasks, I put things that I'm hoping to just manifest for fun. And you know what is really great is one of these has already come true, and we aren't even into May yet. So I will mark that off soon, and you'll hear that news coming soon. But I printed out just a little dashboard for each month, and some of them have, like, my word of the year from a few years ago was synergy, and just really cute little dashboards. And I figure I will just keep track of any little magic and miracles or gratitude or other things for the month so that I can look back on the months and say, oh, I manifested this, I manifested this, I had this beautiful thing come into my life, I had this positive thing, just so I can focus on, after having several health problems and other things like that, just continuing to build positive momentum and have things that I can look back on, but also have a place that I can keep track of all these personal development. Like, this is just one of my things I love to do. I love to read books about productivity and personal growth and, overcoming trauma and making the most of your life and going for your goals, and just any book that feels inspiring. I have been taking notes and annotating, but then I can't reference those notes very easily. So I'm just going to keep them all in one place. So I have different notebooks for different purposes, and we'll see if it sticks. Sometimes I set up notebooks and then I don't fully use them because I love to experiment with things and just see how it goes, and we'll see how this goes. I can't remember now if I told you guys about this, but I had this Poketo project planner that I had set up for Project Phoenix years ago. And now I can't remember if I showed you this in my last notebook challenge or not, but I put some stickers on the front, relabeled it for 2026. They don't sell this anymore either, but this I will be tracking Project Phoenix and some of my marketing stuff in. So that again is basically like revamping my backlist and getting some new formats out. So that goes in this notebook. And then this was my health and fitness sort of notebook for the year. And so much of it is obsolete because I'm having to change up supplements and some of the ways that I'm doing things. I've got more doctor's appointments. So I'm basically going to, now that my newest Erin Condren order has gotten here, I'm going to be dismantling this and starting over. So if you want to see that process, let me know. I'm going to keep this vellum I created. I'm going to keep this. This actually is a vision board that I created for Q2. And I'm going to keep the Hello Kitty planner in here. If you're wondering, last time I showed this, I had somebody ask, like, how am I putting my own pictures into an Erin Condren? Basically, I bought a hole punching machine that punches for a coil, and it was expensive. It's like almost $100 or so on Amazon, but I will link it for you below. I have used it so much. So for me, it was worth it because I know I'll just use it for years to come. And it allows you to sort of customize your planners if you want a Franken plan, which I love to do. So speaking of Franken planning, I bought something that I said I was not going to buy ever again. And yet here we are. Because as I was thinking of the support that I really need for my health this year, I have a daily planner that is the HB90 planner, but there's not enough space in it as an A5 planner. Maybe if I used it as a letter size, but I like it as an A5 planner to track my personal life and my business. And it is really helpful for me to only have my business tasks in that planner. But now that I'm struggling with some other new autoimmune diagnosis and some other health issues, I just really need a place that I can track daily symptoms, daily food intake, all the like exercise, sleep, and see all of that data in one place. So I'm going to be revamping this planner by basically, like, look how crunched up this planner coil is, but I love the multicolor coil. So I'm going to keep using it, I think. And I just take pliers basically and just uncoil all of this and then uncoil this and add them all together. So I'm going to be redesigning that. Let me know if you guys want to see that process. But I got one of the new orders in from Erin Condren, and I decided to get the Daily Duo, even though I said I was not going to buy the Daily Duo ever again because I keep buying it because it's beautiful and then I don't use it. Hopefully, knock on wood, this time will be different. But I have a specific use for it. It did come with this beautiful Toile Priorities notebook as a freebie, so they did still have some of those left. So I'll just briefly take you through everything that I got from the new launch. If you haven't seen my full review of the new planners, I'll link that video for you down below or up here on the screen somewhere. But they have all new tab colors. So these are the markers that correspond with the tab colors. Then they also have these new snap-in pocket dashboards that have this bright blue with the yellow and the pink. These are so joyful and just going to be perfect for summer. I also got this Legacy washi tape fan, and it's got all those same colors. Like, it's just so bright and vibrant. I love the toile design too, and you'll see I have the toile cover, but not the interior. But the colors always get me every time. I just am a fan of bright colors. I got the Universal Snap-in sticky notes. So those look like this. They just snap into the coil. And then what I love about these is you've got the tabs. So if you're trying to, especially like me, when I'm franken planning and I have a bunch of notes pages, I'll be able to say, so here's my food for the week, or here's a tracking of my symptoms, and I can label those and put them on, but then you can just take it off and move it to another page. So I think that'll be nice. This is a sidebar one and a big to-do. So that is nice. Then I also got the mini snap-in bookmarks. I think I have every mini snap-in bookmark they have ever made, but these are different in shape. So I don't know if I don't have one in here currently. Maybe I have one in here. I don't think I have it. However, they're fatter and maybe the same height, but they might be slightly less tall, but they're wider. And they have, instead of just one long strip, they have two sets of 3 strips. I think this design is really cute. I love that you get the full sunburst of these in the 3 colors, the pink colorway, the yellow, and the multicolor. I would love to see it in blue or green as well. So maybe they'll come out with more. But the colors, you guys, they're just bringing me life. Another thing that I got was the monthly planner. This goes with their folio system, and it says monthly planner underneath the starburst. And then it goes from July to December. Like, even just this butter yellow right on this side is so pretty. So then you've got the detail at the top, and then all the way from July 2026 to December 2027. I love to use these just for planning purposes, like future planning. So I don't necessarily put my monthly planning in this. I'll just future cast, like, when should I do this launch? When should I do this? When do I want this book to come out? What's going on during this time? And I'll just use it for sort of like future brainstorming. So that has all the months through December 2027. And then the second half of the notebook is just note pages. And then you've got a sticker sheet in the back. And this fits into their folio system. I don't think they've announced all the new petite planner stuff that will be coming, but if you have any of these, they're sort of traveler notebook style. And so it will fit right. Oh, there's one of the old ones. I knew I just always have one somewhere. So yeah, it is shorter, but wider. So there's the 2 designs side by side. I like it. So beautiful colors, functional. I get this every year. I also got the new premium planning pack. This bright blue, also, they have the new folios don't look like this. They're like the clear folios where you can see through them in to see the planner behind it. I'm pretty sure it came in pink, like this bright pink, and this bright blue. But the blue, I think, was sold out when I was looking. But it has a strap on the back so you can put it around your planner, and then you can sit stickers inside here. It has a gold zipper, and then on the inside you can put any stickers or whatever you want to put here, and your pens or markers with more stuff in the back. So I grabbed that. And then the actual planners. Oh, the other accessory that I got was this priorities dashboard that has the priorities and to do. It's a similar design to previous years. And then Monday through Sunday on the back for the weekly design with this gradient. Very pretty. I think I have a lot of these, so I don't necessarily need another one, but I like the new design that's going to match the pages, but also on this back, I'm going to write out what our dinners are going to be so I can just always keep track of that and then erase them for the week. But here is the Daily Duo. Let me clean off the desk just a little bit. So sorry for the glare, but this is the Daily Duo. It comes in 2 books. You get to choose your cover for one of the books, and then the other one will just come with the default design. So the one that I personalized is this toile wallpaper design in the pink. This comes in multiple colors. It is so beautiful and stunning. I just said SC and Sarra Cannon, but you could also put 2026 or 2627. There's, you can customize it. And then on the inside, we just have the plain vellum with the life planner July to December. And then we've got that new colorway with different tabs. So this particular 6-month comes with yellow, 2 or 3 blues, and then 2 greens on the back. For example, in August, we have this bright blue, and then we have the notes is color blocked. And then we have the dashboard page for the month. We have a blank, like a lined page. Then we have the daily pages, starting with Friday the 31st, Saturday the 1st, Sunday, and then at the end of the week, we have a notes page. And then we turn the page, and for the first time ever, we have a weekly dashboard. So this is the dashboard layout. So when you order the Daily Duo, you're basically getting the dashboard weekly planner and the daily planner combined into one, which I think is brilliant. And there are very few planners on the market that have both a daily page and a weekly page. My HB90 is one of them. But now the Daily Duo is also one. So you could plan out your meals here. You could plan out your social media. You could plan your week at a glance. And then like the benefit to the daily page is that you can plan your week ideally how you'd like it to be. But then as things shift and change, you have a place on the daily page to, switch up what your weekly plan was. So I love that. Then we have 6 habit trackers, which will be perfect for my health planner. I can also track symptoms and things on this page as an overview. But then in the daily, I can say, when did I feel tired? When did I think this will be really great for a health and planning tracker. And then I can do to-dos like my meditation, my workout, my supplements that don't need to go into my work planner. And then we have just a box at the bottom. And then at the end of the month, we have another blank page or side to side. And then we start back over with the month. And then at the very end of the planner, we have just one like little notes page here. And then we go into the sticker sets, which the colors are all refreshed and look very, fresh and updated. And then you have this pink folder. And then the second month, like you can get July to next June in 2 books, or you can just start it in January and go through next year. So this one has January through June of next year. So you've got the pinks and the like oranges and yellows. So I will be properly dismantling this. You can get this in the minimal design or the toile design. And the toile is so pretty that I love it. But I also, when I really started looking at it, I'm like, no, I want the bright colors. So I got that instead. So that is my latest Erin Condren, like second haul of the legacy and the new launch of the designs. And these are all my new notebooks that I will be using. Let me know what notebooks you're using. Before we go, I am going to do a giveaway for the month. So what I will be giving away is a full set of these A5 notebooks. I'll be shipping them directly from Amazon to your house. So let me know if you would like to enter that. Go ahead and let's say put your favorite summertime emoji, since we're going to be getting close to summer, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere. Put a summertime emoji, a palm tree, a wave, sunshine, sunglasses in the comments if you made it this far. Also, let's talk about our diverse read for the month. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk about Jax McQueen's new book, Say Yes to the Mess, The Bad Decision Stress, Book 1. I am telling you, when I saw JD Robinson, Jen, who used to be my like amazing critique partner, who is also one of our admins and hosts for the Heart Breathings writing community, featured this book on her channel. I was so excited because I met Jax when I used to live in North Carolina, and we used to meet up together, and I am so proud of her. I have not talked to her in years. So when I saw this, I immediately had to grab it for myself. So I wanted to feature it so you can grab it too. It is free in Kindle Unlimited. It is only $4.99. Definitely check out this book. It sounds so fun. So here's what it's about: a heartfelt, laugh out loud story about friendship, fresh starts, and the kind of love you never see coming. People pleasing Zara Whitmore has spent her entire life keeping everyone else on track, from her free spirited younger sister to her wild first grade students, while putting herself last. At 34, all she wants is to start her next chapter with her longtime boyfriend. Instead, she gets screenshots from the woman he's been cheating with. Heartbroken and furious at the years she's wasted, Zara does what any sensible woman would: spiral spectacularly and turn to her ride or die friendship group, the Sensational Six. Their solution: help her make up for all the reckless fun she missed out on in her 20s. Enter the bad decision stress. When I was reading this description, it made me think about Sex and the City, which was one of my favorite shows when it came on, and Carrie's naked dress where she's like, I can't make good decisions in this dress. Anyway, alluring, irresistible, and maybe even a touch magical, the moment Zara slips it on, she feels bold and unstoppable. A scandalous breakup party with hot male strippers? Yes. Spontaneous tattoo? Why not? Over the top weekend giveaway planned by the friend group's resident stay-at-home mom who hasn't had a kid-free vacation in 2 years? Bring it on. But when a special school project pairs her with the hunky new hot music teacher, Zara realizes bad decisions aren't the only risks worth taking. As she rebuilds her life one questionable choice at a time, Zara must decide what's scarier: clinging to the safe, predictable life she knows, or saying yes to the messy, electric present that might be better than anything she imagined. Doesn't that sound so good? Like, it sounds like the perfect pre-summer beach read. Let's get it. So here's a little bit about Jax McQueen. Is the author of heartfelt, laugh out loud stories featuring hot mess heroines, hijinks, and happily ever afters. She began her writing journey at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. That's where Andrew was born, by the way, in the Writing for Screen and Stage program before completing a master's in interactive media at Elon University. When she's not writing, you can find Jax chasing after a sugar high, busting a move on the dance floor, or plotting her next big adventure. Huge congratulations to Jax. Definitely go pick up her book. I will be putting all the links down below for where you can get this exclusively on Amazon. You can also grab the paperback, and you can follow Jax, of course, on Instagram and Facebook. So I will leave all of her information down below. So proud of you. Okay, you guys, way longer than 30 minutes hanging out, but I always love spending this time with you. I hope that you enjoyed hearing about all my mini notebooks and things that I'm going to be using. It's going to be a good summer. And again, no stress to like use up everything, but just pull out a notebook you've been neglecting. If you can think of a way that it will support you, or you can keep track of your knowledge, or you can reignite a spark for yourself, get off the phone for a little bit and just get into your own thoughts or spark your own creativity. Let's get it done, because the world can be chaos and sometimes we just need to unplug. And one of the best ways to do that is to pull out our notebooks and either do some art, write some things, express our feelings, learn something, and just let those notebooks be supportive. All right. I super love you. If you are not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.